Hey everyone, it's Robin from Rose and Lily. In this video, we're going to make this cute little watermelon bag. Now this bag can be made in any size you like, and I'll include all the instructions for that. The bag pattern itself is no-sew. You'll just need a yarn needle to embroider the watermelon seeds and weave in the ends. Firstly, you'll need some chunky or super chunky plush yarn in pink, white, and green. Then for the seeds, you can either embroider using medium white black yarn, or you could use black beads and thread. The stitches you need to know beforehand are single crochet, slip stitch, chain stitch, increase, and magic ring. The items you'll need are a USG crochet hook, scissors, a yarn needle, and I always recommend using stitch markers. Just some notes before we begin. The chain 1 at the beginning of each row counts as a stitch. This means that the first increase that we're doing in each row will be in the third stitch from the hook. And as I said before, this can be made in any size. We'll basically be making 2 semicircles and then join them together. We'll start with our first semicircle in pink, and we're doing 6 single crochet in a magic ring. I'll put a link to my full magic ring tutorial at the top of the video. And then pull the ring tight. Now we'll actually be working in rows instead of rounds. So in the next row, we chain 1, and then turn your work. We'll now work back along those stitches. Now because the chain 1 at the beginning of each row counts as a stitch, we're effectively going to be skipping over that first single crochet. In other words, we're now going to crochet into the third stitch from the hook. And we're going to do an increase, which is 2 single crochet into that one stitch. In the next stitch, we do a single crochet. In the next stitch, we do an increase, which is 2 single crochet into one stitch. Then we do a single crochet in the next one. And we're doing an increase into that last stitch of the row. In row 3, we chain 1 and turn. Once again, in the third stitch from the hook, we're doing an increase. Then 2 single crochet, then an increase, 2 single crochet, an increase, and a single crochet into that last stitch. In row 4, chain 1 and turn. Do an increase in that third stitch from the hook. Then 3 single crochet. Then an increase, 3 single crochet, an increase, and then 2 single crochet. As you can see, in each row, we're increasing the number of single crochets between the increases. And we'll continue to do this until the bag is the desired size. In row 5, chain 1, turn, and then increase in that 3rd stitch, followed by 4 single crochet, and increase, 4 single crochet, and increase, and then 3 single crochet. So now we'll continue with the same progression until the side of the bag is nearly the size that you want, because we will still be adding a few rows of white and green. In this tutorial, I'll be doing 11 rows of pink in total. So here I've just written out the first 15 rows. As I said before, you can add as many rows as you like. I'll go up to 11 rows of pink for the purpose of this tutorial, and I'll do these off camera. So I've done my 11 rows of pink, but I'm stopping in the last stitch because I'm going to do a color change to white. We're going to do 2 rows of white using the exact same progression as before. So in my case, that's row 12 and row 13 in white. At the end of row 13, we're going to color change to green. Now there's 1 row of green using the same progression, so in my case that's row 14. Now we are done with the increasing, and we're going to do 1 row of single crochets in the back loops only. In my case, that's row 15, so I chain 1, turn, and then as always, starting in that 3rd stitch from the hook, I'll do 44 single crochet in the back loops only. After that last row, the piece should curve naturally like this. So this is one side of the bag completed. Now for the first side of the bag, you'll close and cut the yarn after the last row. Then you'll crochet the second side exactly the same way as the first, but don't close or cut the yarn. So I've got my two semicircles here. This one on the right is the one I closed and cut. Now we're going to connect the two. You'll first need to determine which is the right side. The easiest way to tell is to look at the last row. With the right side facing you, the last row should curve backwards like so. With the wrong side facing you, that last row should curve towards you. Once you've determined the right sides, we're going to place these right sides together. And the piece with the yarn still attached will go in front like so. Then we're going to do slip stitches across both sides all the way over the last row. Now the bag will be inside out, so turn it the right way around before continuing. Now we need to determine where the straps will go. This will depend on personal preference as well as the size of the bag. I suggest marking with stitch markers where you want them to go, and I'll be placing them like so. Then do the same on the other side. Now we're going to crochet the straps and we're going to be working in rounds. So in round 1, we chain 1 and single crochet right below it. You can add a marker to this stitch. Then we're going to single crochet along the top, doing 1 single crochet into the end of each row. We're only going until we reach that marker. Make chain stitches to get the strap the length that you want. I'll be doing 25. Single crochet into that next marked stitch. Then we're going to single crochet around until the next marker. Again, we're putting 1 single crochet into the end of each row. Then we're going to chain the second strap, the same number of stitches as before. Once again, I'm doing 25. Single crochet into that next marked stitch, and then single crochet the rest of the way around. Then slip stitch to that marked stitch. In round 2, chain 1, single crochet into that same stitch, add a marker, and then single crochet into each stitch from round 1. You'll also be doing a single crochet into each chain stitch. Then do a slip stitch into that first marked stitch. Then you can close and cut the yarn and weave in all the ends. Lastly, for the seeds, you can embroider them however you like. I like to make small stitches in the front and then weave along the stitches on the inside to the next seed position. If you don't want to see the black thread on the inside, you could sew on black beads using pink thread, or you could add some kind of fabric liner. I embroider the seeds all along one side, After I've done all the seeds on one side, I weave the thread through the edge of the bag and then do the other side. Once I'm back at the first tail, I tie the tails together and weave in the ends. And that is your watermelon bag completed. As I said before, this would also look really good with black beads. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. The free written pattern for this bag will be on my website.